Trump got it coming to him.
You don't like that at all?
It kind of happened? I don't know.
That's bad, yes.
Yeah,
you just said I'm kind of happy that that happened.
I mean, yeah,
What are you
hate
happy
Trump.
about?
Is it okay for people to throw out the racist word in this that I have to leave as a queer person if he wins?
As a straight white guy, I'm probably not going to be impacted.
And in that sexual education, they're not just teaching you heterosexual sex, they're teaching you gay anal sex. There's a head coach above these presidents that we don't even know about that give these people orders, and those people are the ones that are actually controlling the world. Sorry to break to you.
Welcome back to Rattlesnake TV, guys. In this video, we are going to review the most recent Jubilee debate, which at times was quite startling. I want you to really pay attention to the nature of the conversation here and the difference between left and right. And also, I believe that the psychological analysis that I am about to give of the male social justice warriors in this video is something that we all need to be aware of. This is of critical importance, so please stick around for it. With that, let's get into it.
The shooting at Trump's rally will change the course of the election.
Everybody has seen the picture of him raising his fist, and I personally, I'm from Texas, and so all of my friends have been posting it, and I'm friends with a lot of Republicans, respectively, and they've been posting it, and it's kind of an empowering thing now, and it's kind of causing people to want to vote for him, and a lot of moderates are saying it now as, oh, he is strong, and like what he went through, like he can go through anything, you know? So a lot of moderates now are leaning towards wanting to vote for him, and it's kind of scary.
Yeah, he was shot, but let's call it what it is. It was an attempted assassination, which failed. Obviously done by a liberal, because Republicans would know how to shoot guns.
That's not true. It was a Republican.
That is not true.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Thomas Matthew Crooks.
I'll go ahead.
Donated to Act Blue, so.
When
Okay.
did he donate? He donated January 20th, 2021, and then he registered as a Republican September 2021.
That's because to create a narrative. If you're a school shooter or a whatever, an assassination.
Yeah, this is the old
Yeah, that's why he wore a shirt. He wore a shirt called Demolition.
Party does not matter when he puts out a video saying he hates
for
Donald
3
Trump.
years.
Yeah.
Probably.
Meditating.
You don't think
Regardless of the motives,
let me
he
just
was
say
shot.
this. You don't think a person that is a murderer or an attempted murderer probably has fantasized about it for longer than 3 years?
No, people do stuff like
He's
that on a
probably killed
whim.
animals. I'm just saying, if you're going to be a shooter, you've probably fantasized
No,
about shooting
people
somebody.
do that stuff on a
So
whim
yeah, I
all
would
the
say that
time.
it would make sense that he's probably thought about killing somebody for over 3 years.
I mean, yeah, probably killing somebody,
Exactly,
but
you
it's
agree.
Republicans are, propagating that theory that Biden wants to go after political opponents and he wants to promote like political violence, right? And obviously, you're already saying that he was a liberal.
Propaganda when
so it's
Biden said that Trump needs to be put in a bullseye 5 days ago?
5 days ago.
yeah, when did
He tweeted it, and
It's on his Instagram right now
the
as well.
campaign took it down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course they took it down.
great.
Real convenient, but I don't know if that's propaganda.
But I want to ask
That's
this question,
a
Danny, and it's like saying, yeah, my girlfriend goes to another school. When you say your friends feel empowered by this, just admit that you feel empowered from that video. Seeing his
No, I
fist.
don't at all,
You're
actually.
telling me you
No,
didn't
I
get
think
any
it's
sense of
embarrassing.
pride
No, I
after
saw
getting
that.
shot, standing up, raising your fist, saying fight.
Is it
against
bad for me to say I am kind
don't
of
like that
happy
at
it
all?
kind of happened? I don't
That's
know.
bad. Yes.
Yeah.
Here's why it's
Danny, wait, hold it, break to you. You're happy that
I'm not happy what happened
You just
at
said
the
I'm
rally.
kind of happy that
I mean,
happened.
yeah,
What are
I
you
hate
happy
Trump.
about?
Yeah,
I hate Trump. Maybe
so
it
much so
scared him.
Okay, but what's going on in your life that you would wish murder or death upon somebody?
I don't wish that he died.
But you just said that you'd be happy if he did.
I'm
I don't
glad
condone-
he
I don't
didn't
condone
die,
violence, but I
okay?
hope I
I'm sure
see
someone out there loves
Wait,
him.
wait, hold on, Alex. Repeat that
Wait,
again.
I want you guys to both say this out loud, very clearly.
Please.
to
Wait,
the
what did you
camera.
just say?
Camera.
I said I don't condone violence, but I hope I see something.
What does that mean?
It means that Trump got it coming to him. He's been saying this shit for years
Yeah,
and
I hope
years
you guys
and
get a nice
years.
position so you can
There's
see
bound to
this.
be
Nice.
some point where a Republican or a Democrat, somebody loses their shit and says, I'm not happy with the president saying all this all the time. I'm not happy with him trying to destroy democracy. I'm not happy with him trying to destroy the American dream. That's how my generation feels.
Is
That's
that
how plenty
how
of
America
people
is
in
now?
the
Really
city
quick, really
feel.
quick.
That's how plenty of
Is
people
that
in
how
this
America
county
is
feel.
now?
That's how 70 million people.
We're gonna go and kill
Really quick.
people. for
Do you
opinions?
condone?
Yes, that's exactly what happens all the time in America.
Do you condemn the Trump shooter, and do you condemn political violence?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good. So here's why this changes everything. It is because we just saw an image of our president, somebody that has been politically persecuted for years. He was impeached twice, but what you just said is that you hope something happens. And when Republicans hear that, when conservatives hear that, that does validate that people want violence. And,
Well, somebody from the Heritage Foundation just said that they want a bloodless revolution so long that the
but
left
that's
doesn't
wrong,
have it.
and that is wrong. That is completely wrong. And what you just said
But
is
these
wrong.
are the people, these are the pundits that you're
and the
relying
reason-
on.
I don't rely on them. You don't know anything about me. You don't know what I watch. You don't know who I listen to. You don't know where I get my political
let me what did
and I want to finish really quick. The reason why this changes everything is because we just saw a man who was politically persecuted. He was shot, and his first instinct, the first instinct was to get up, bloodied, beaten, raise his fist, and tell his supporters to fight. Whether or not you agree with that, there is something in that image that resonates with a lot of Americans, and it displays courage, it displays bravery, and a lot of moderates, who you probably disagree with, that is going to resonate with them too.
So first and foremost, guys, very well played there by Aldo from PragerU. Notice that his side was about to try and interject, and then he just said to the Democrats, guys, nice and calm, can you please just repeat your vile statements? Not in those words.
I don't condone violence, but I hope I see
someone out there loves it.
Wait, hold on, Alex, repeat that again.
I said I don't condone violence, but I hope I see something.
What does that mean?
And he signaled to his side to effectively shut up. Let's get a replay on that.
I hope you guys get a nice visit from Secret
There's
Service.
bound to be some point where a Republican...
That is the perfect way to play this situation. And the contrast there between Aldo and the Democrats is dramatic. Poised, thoughtful, and articulate versus feral with no impulse control. And there is a quote from The Art of War by Sun Tzu that says, never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. If you allow these cretins to speak, they will end up hanging themselves because they cannot control their seething resentment. Our friend Pocahontas here is literally saying that Donald Trump had it coming to him and that he is hoping for a violent civil war. Righto, Pocahontas. I'm sure if there was a civil war, you would be there like Achilles in Troy on the front line just taking scalps. Be careful what you wish for, buddy, because that luscious hair and perfect complexion would not last long on the battlefield.
You know what's there, waiting, beyond that beach? Immortality! Take it! It's yours!
And you guys want to know how Pocahontas keeps such a perfect complexion? You want to know why he doesn't crack? Well, that's because he uses Tiege Hanley. Gentlemen, as we steadily march towards our peak years, it's important to be having a good skincare routine. If it can polish a turd like me, it can work for you. Now, I recommend that you start with the level 1 system. It comes with all the basics, like the daily face wash to get all of that dirt and grime out of your skin. Then you've got your scrub. You do this one 2 times a week to get rid of all those dead skin cells. We've also got our AM moisturizer, which you guessed it, is for the morning, and it comes with SPF 20 to keep you armed and dangerous against that sun. And what do you know? Your PM moisturizer keeps your skin healthy and hydrated throughout the night. And what I really love about Tiege Hanley is that because I don't have any idea what I'm doing with skincare and I don't have a girlfriend, it comes with a how-to manual. It tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. It is a godsend. Their products have made my skin look and feel better than ever, but you don't have to just take my word for it. They have over 7,000 5-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers around the world. And this is not something you want to put off because prevention is key. Get ahead of any signs of aging now and your future self will thank you. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring the video, they are offering Rattlesnake TV listeners an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description and get a whopping 40% off your first skincare system and a free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll also get 20% off for life. And by the way, both gifts that you're choosing from are a $20 value and are both absolute game changers. A silicone body scrubber and also a face and nail grooming kit. My favorite is the kit because you get a little leather pouch with it, and also this is the best nail clipper you will ever use. Proper steel, these things won't break on you. So gentlemen looking to start your skincare journey, or ladies looking to get a great gift for a lovely gentleman, hit that link in the bio and start your skincare journey with Tiege Hanley. So now let's let the rest of this exchange play out.
There's some points where all of this is going to start boiling over, right? There are people on my side that get very violent, that get very vitriolic with their comments, right? I went to UCLA, and I'm seeing that we have a lot of students who get very in their minds about their politics, about wanting to protect Gaza, about wanting to make sure that their voices are heard from the left in the Democratic Party. The same thing happens with you guys, though. So we have extremists on both sides that are going to come at some point.
That's not the same.
Boil it over.
That's not has nothing to do with what you said you want something to happen.
Because I want this shit to be over.
Wait, can I make a quick comment?
Why would you wish death on him? He doesn't wish death on you.
I never wish death on him.
You said you hope something happens.
You hope something happens.
But what is that something? I hope that there's some sort of political boil over, right? We're edging to a point where there's going to be some kind of civil war. There's going to be some kind of like interstate violence that's happening.
All right,
so you're hoping for violence.
Inciting violence.
Robert E. Lee over here.
I hope that we break the point. I hope that we break the dam where we don't have to keep fighting about policies and whether or not we have conspiracy theorists in government. I hope that we get to the point where we're done with all of it and we can get through this antebellum era.
Does the fact that the two people on your side, reflected and said that that's going too far, does that make you reflect on your words and think that maybe you took it too far?
No.
So this is just another example of how much the goalposts have been shifted. We just kind of accept accept that that's a really messed up thing to say and then just maybe get on with the conversation?
Trump got it coming to him. He's been saying this shit.
No. That is in no way an okay thing to say. He just said that he wishes the president got assassinated. Normally, in any other place and time, that would at least elicit a search warrant. But guys, this is what they say on camera. This is what they say during a recorded debate. Just imagine the kinds of things they say behind closed doors when they're going for sushi lunch and eating their tofu.
Do you have any cheese or eggs or any animal products in your sauce?
These people genuinely, in their hearts, wish that Donald Trump was dead. And it just goes to show how radical the left has become. These people have been so thoroughly brainwashed that they've lost their dignity and humanity. And we shouldn't play softball with this kind of thing. We should call it out for what it is, which is the kind of disgusting malevolence that has no place in our society. Now on to the next part, which is pretty hilarious, where Alec Stein pulls a card that should be pulled on leftists whenever the opportunity arises.
A convicted felon should not become president. On the prompt, specifically about the
Well, you know, first of all,
convicted felons should our
guys
president.
are obviously very racist for saying that because 1/3 of all black African-American men have a felony conviction.
Are we, are we gonna just, is it okay for people to throw out the racist word in this debate? Is that,
That's not
are we
racist.
considering that?
You're the racist because you want 1/3
I would
of black people
never
not
accuse
eligible
you of being
for...
racist, my friend.
Well, then why are you so against people having a felony? America's built
I'm not,
on
no.
Let me just say this. America's built on second chances. A lot of people make mistakes.
Sure.
So a person, whether they get arrested or not, I want to live in a world where we give second chances. So you say somebody gets arrested and they should be negated from having any public office.
No.
I think
no.
That's what you said.
I would love to go into detail.
But
if you
that
want
doesn't-
to.
that doesn't mean
I would
that
love
they're-
to go into detail.
Let's try and avoid an attacking.
I'm not trying to
other,
personally
right?
attack.
No,
I'm
you
saying
already
that
did.
they're
You called us
racist.
racist.
Well, I'm saying that, I guess...
As a rhetorical
back to
flourish,
that.
but it's too much and you need to be a little more respectful of other people.
Okay, but still, you might still be racist. I don't know you that well. My point is, you're trying to exclude a big population of the country that are African Americans from running for office, and I think that's, you know, a disrespect.
Well, neither... Well, all right.
Love that. He has effectively ruled out 1/3 of the African American population for running for office because they have so many felonies. And it was just the perfect moment to call him a racist as a way of pure trolling. This is exactly the rhetoric that the SJWs use on straight white men. So just to give them a bit of their own medicine never hurts. And it's just hilarious watching them malfunction when you call them a racist because it's the worst thing that you can possibly call an SJW.
Are we gonna just, is it okay for people to...
It's worse than pedo, it's worse than serial killer, it's worse than anything, and it's just funny to watch them squirm. On to the next part.
If Trump is elected, I fear that the country will move too far right.
In my lifetime, the Supreme Court made it illegal for two people of the same gender to be arrested for having sex in the privacy of their home. So when I see things in Project 2025 that talk explicitly about emphasizing nuclear families with one mother and one father, when I see, actually it goes into great detail about the low-key, covert ways of disempowering, like dismantling the rights and privileges that LGBTQ people have fought for the last 30 years. I find that really scary, and it also goes into great detail about how to limit, curtail, and ultimately do away with abortion, access to birth control. My grandma was a feminist, and I'm kind of glad she didn't make it this far because she would be petrified. I hope we're not going to disagree in a minute about whether or not Project 2025 is the thing, because it is. And I am not a dramatic person. I'd like to be pretty level-headed, but I am genuinely. I feel like my safety could be compromised to the extent that I have to leave as a queer person if he wins and is able to do what he has plainly and his movement have plainly promised to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'll echo what these guys have said. I think Roe v. Wade being overturned is a shock to everybody, and there's more of that in store for us if Donald Trump wins. I don't think it's the end of America as we know it or any sort of hyperbolic thing like that. And I am concerned about certain people because as a straight white guy, I'm probably not going to be impacted by it. But I worry about community, and I worry about these migrants who've come here just looking for another chance. And so I worry our country will take on some serious damage if Donald Trump gets back in there.
These lib conversations are just so unbelievably cringe. Really? You feel unsafe as a queer man? And the other guy saying, as a straight white man, I wouldn't be impacted, so I wouldn't know what it's like for queer people, wouldn't know what it's like for women who can't kill their babies. Like, you're just a weak man. And I know that you've been conditioned to think that if you say these things about Roe v. Wade, and if you say things about your white male privilege, then women will like you. But someone needs to tell these guys that that is not how it works. Women want you to be based and principled. There is nothing more unattractive than a pushover. And actually, they will hate you for it. And the reason why I bring this up is because I firmly believe that the male social justice warrior thing is purely a mating tactic. And it's actually found throughout the animal kingdom. Have a listen to Gad Saad explaining this to Jordan Peterson.
Here's another idea I had. It might seem like it's off. It might seem like it's a bit colloquial, but I think there's actually some merit to it. So I'm very curious to see what your reaction is. So I think that there's also, are you familiar in zoology with this is the actual term, so you'll forgive if it's crass, the sneaky strategy? Do you know what that is?
I suspect I do, yes. I think there's a kind of lizard that is, and also I think it's something that orangutans use. But anyways, let's hear.
Yeah, so there are several, it happens across many species, typically often in fish species, but in others as well, where there are, if you like, two main phenotypes of males. One is sort of a dominant male that's very territorial, that's making sure that no other males infringe on his territory. And then there's another phenotype where males actually look like females, so that when they sort of approach this dominant male, he is tricked into sort of letting them through, and then hence the sneaky strategy. Then they can get access to the females. So I've taken that idea and I've argued that male social justice warriors are ultimately pursuing some manifestation of the sneaky strategy. Yeah, look at him laugh. You're laughing because you know I'm exactly right. And so basically,
now they wouldn't do that, would they?
Are you being facetious or are you being serious now? No. So basically, the idea is now here's some sort of
That's nice. Look, that's every Seth Rogen movie has that sort of idea at its basis, right? Because the Seth Rogen movies, all those movies about guys who haven't grown up, are all about guys who use being on your side with regards to
the friend,
it's the friend mating strategy. Yeah.
So more on that very soon, guys. But I think that the sneaky strategy perfectly and infallibly explains the male social justice warrior.
It's really scary thinking about what it can do for women. And I'm in a position that because Roe v. Wade was overturned recently, and I live in Texas, so having, like, if I were to get pregnant and have a baby and need to have an abortion, if I choose to do so, I'm not able to do that, and they want to push those laws and restrictions on women's bodies even more. It's kind of terrifying to think about.
Freudian slip there, guys. She called it a baby, but then quickly corrected herself and said abortion.
If I were to get pregnant and have a baby and need to have an abortion.
But just notice that one side throughout this entire debate is talking about how they want Trump to be assassinated, and they're talking about violent civil war, and they're talking about killing babies. That's what they campaign for. That is the side of death and chaos. Choose your side wisely, guys. And I'm not sure if you all picked up on it, but the sneaky strategy was manifesting itself right before our eyes there once again. Let's have a look at Pocahontas's eyes here. Where are they going? Why are you being a sneaky little Now, I'm not sure about Pocahontas's sexual preferences, but let's just have a look at this for a second. A little case study. If we ever needed a scientific case study for the sneaky it would be this man. Look at the way he has disguised himself as a female with the long hair, the flowery shirt, the submissive body language, hunched forward with his hands covering his vagina. Even his facial features, soft and supple to the point of resembling the female facial structure. These are the kinds of men that we need to be careful of. It's not the masculine men, it's not the protectors and providers, it's the little male feminist social justice warriors that lack impulse control and that will say and do all these strange, resentful things. They sneakily wait in the wings for the time that she needs a shoulder to cry on, when she's at her most vulnerable and needs a friend in a time of need, and then boom, the sneaky strategy is complete. Watch out, ladies. But I mean, her choice of attire is obviously asking for that sort of attention and that sort of male gaze, but not from the SJWs. She is far, far and away more attracted to the based Chad, Trump-supporting conservatives with morals and boundaries, even if she refuses to admit it. Every cell in her female anatomy is attracted to a strong, competent, assertive, dominant, masculine man that can actually take the lead in a relationship. One that she can rely on to fix problems and that can provide for her family and protect her. And we have even seen some liberal women in recent times come to this realization.
Do you want to know one of the saddest realizations I recently had? Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who is willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative. A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative. And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
There you have it, guys. Male social justice warriors possess all of the traits that females are inherently repulsed by. They want to date a man and not a woman. So glad we cleared that up.
This is my point, is I don't think anybody really, even on the conservative side, care about people being gay, because there's gay conservatives, obviously. Yeah. But what's going on now is there's an attack on children now where you have to have a pride flag in first grade. You're teaching sexual education at way too young of an age. And in that sexual education, they're not just teaching you heterosexual sex, they're teaching you gay anal sex. To me, that is called indoctrination. So we don't like the gay indoctrination of young children when you're giving them hormones to reassign their gender that are permanent, that they say that they're not permanent. You're giving kids mastectomies, 14-year-olds. Chloe Cole got a mastectomy. There's a lot of detransitioners. So there's an attack by the LGBTQ community, whatever you want to call it, on young people. If the LGBTQ just wants to do it with adults, I think we'd all be okay with
that.
But
That's the face I made when I saw my first family-friendly drag show. I made the same
listen,
face.
Listen. I want to be real clear about this.
We don't want drag queen story time.
I want to be real clear about this.
I'm loud and clear.
You're not listening. I wish you would.
Go ahead.
Fewer than 10% of people detransition. And the vast majority of those people, I'll let you finish once I'm done. Fewer than 10%, okay? And the vast majority of them specifically report that they do it because of social pressure or being rejected by their family. But let's be perfectly clear. What you call indoctrination, which I consider a bigoted thing to say, and I'll explain why. Hold your gunpowder, I'll explain why.
Ryan.
I'll explain why. Part of my journey as a queer person was finding positive role models, which I didn't have. And let's be clear, you conflate a thing that isn't really a thing, indoctrinating kids with anal sex, which is a ridiculous thing to say, with what's actually being banned is permission to acknowledge. In fact, in my home state in Tennessee, I'll let you know when I'm done. In my home state in Tennessee, anybody under the age of 18 who expresses in any way being something other than heteronormative, their school system is required to report it to their parents. And I have to tell you, I would be lucky. Look at me. I'm lucky because my parents wouldn't have kicked me out. I'm lucky that my parents wouldn't have sent me to conversion therapy. Listen to me. What I'm telling you, friend, is that there are millions of queer people whose parents would kick them out, send them to conversion therapy, shun them. I have a friend, actually, to whom this happened. He was unable to get in-state tuition for college because his parents refused to fill out the FAFSA for him. And that's a tiny little inconsequential example of the pain that being different from the get causes. And when you do things like conflate some kind of abuse on children by making space for queer people to be acknowledged to exist, which is really all that's happening, you hurt all of us. You want to get into hormone replacement therapy, you want to get into gender-affirming care, fine, but I want to be clear, putting a flag in this right now, if we're going to talk about it, we should talk about it because you do not know what you're talking about.
Let me just say one question.
Okay, one last thing, and then we'll...
What percentage of gay men identify as being sexually abused as a child, would you say?
I don't have that in front of me.
Very little.
Oh, give me
That's going to take
Are you suggesting that
Are you saying that
child sexual abuse causes men to be gay later in life? Yeah, there's
that's a whole other thing. I'll give you a quick 5-second wrap up.
Guys, I'm actually glad that Jubilee doesn't let me on their show, because if I were on this panel, then I genuinely think that that gay man would have had an aneurysm. But the facts are the facts, even if it's uncomfortable. The people who are gay and transgender and have all of these weird sexual fetishes are much more likely to have suffered some sort of abuse in early life. And the vast majority of the time, the groomers and the abusers in society are individuals who have experienced that and are perpetuating the cycle.
So I'm not allowed to be out as trans non-binary at school. I live in Louisiana and it sucks here. So of course my response to this is to be as obnoxiously queer as possible.
If all I have to do to let a kid know that they are not alone in this world is be honest about who I am in this world, I have to do it. Don't I have to?
And this is why I would never leave my kids with any of these random queer teachers or childcare people. Firstly, because of the aforementioned facts, and secondly, because the evidence is just everywhere. I mean, you see examples of the disgusting pornographic books being shown to kids and the kind of sexual indoctrination that's happening in schools. I mean, it's undeniable at this point.
Hello, Navaro, suck any good lately. What's wrong, Navaro? I think you like a big in your mouth. Ha ha ha. Page 23. The other boy. Here it is. What's the educational benefit of talking about What's the educational benefit of talking about that? Is that going to help someone on the SAT score? Hear me kind. Get a shot of that. She can care less. That's a sign. She needs to put down her sign.
Can't we just go back to a time when teachers were all nice, sweet ladies in sundresses and old straight white men with the patches on their elbows? Anyways, on to the last bit, guys, where Alec Stein says something that I very much agree with.
I feel confident my party will win this election. Alec, let's start with you. You don't think that your party's going to win this election?
Well, I think that there's a huge case to be made that they could steal this election again. Also, if they shot Donald Trump in the ear, somebody's probably going to try to attack him again. So I think it's very possible that they've tried to assassinate his character, they've tried to throw him in jail, they've tried to literally assassinate him. So I think there's a big possibility that the deep state, the people, these unelected bureaucrats, the CIA, FBI, people that you guys even admit exist, that there's you don't admit that there are unelected bureaucrats that help Joe Biden make decisions?
They aren't supposed to.
No, well, the way you frame that is not.
They stayed there when Trump was in office.
I'm just saying, there's people
That's how
in the
civil
cabinet
service works.
that were not elected.
Let's let him finish. Go ahead.
They never let me finish.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Lie.
Well, you ascribed something to me that I didn't say. That's all.
My point is, there is a deep state, and I think that they stole the first election in 2020. I think it's very likely that they're going to steal the election again in 2024. And if they can't steal it, they will go to any means necessary to take Trump out. They've tried everything. We were 1 inch away from Donald Trump dying. I don't think they're going to miss next time. I hope that doesn't happen, but I think that's a high possibility that he could be attacked again because he's the biggest threat to the deep state.
Do you think he can win fairly?
No, yeah, he's going to win fairly. Yeah, he's going to get more votes.
Then why didn't you come up here first?
I just don't think the results are going to come in my favor. Just like he won fairly in 2020, I think they're going to rig it. Because there's people in power that are above Donald Trump. Like the president, you have to look at almost like the quarterback. Like he is making the decisions, he is the face of the franchise, but there is an owner, there's a head coach above these presidents that we don't even know about that give these people orders. And those people are the ones that are actually controlling the world. Sorry to break to you.
So, completely agree there. I mean, I very much think that Trump will win the election if it's fair, but they are not going to let that happen. They will stop it by any means necessary. And this is why we are seeing the wheels of the propaganda machine turning at the moment to desperately try and make Kamala Harris look popular. I just have this gut feeling that towards the end of the year, we are going to see something crazy happen, some sort of a daylight robbery, and everybody will be able to see it. But how it plays out, I'm not too sure, guys. Anyways, do not forget to check out Tiege Hanley. All of those links are going to be below if you want to have beautiful skin complexion like Pocahontas. And also, guys, if you would like to subscribe to the channel, you can click right here. And if you'd like to watch another one, right here. Till next time, I'm Jake. This is RattlesnakeTV, keeping you armed and dangerous.